Chapter 3. The Land of Uz. When I am down and, oh, my soul, so weary. When troubles come and my heart burdened be. Then I am still and wait here in the silence. Until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up, so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Song written by Josh Grober. I arrived at the University of Zimbabwe in the month of September 2003. Being offered a place to study at the most prestigious institution of tertiary education in the country was a great achievement. To many, this might not be something worth mentioning. However, for me it is different, as I was the first in my entire family, if not clan. Being a young man who had been raised outside the city, or rather more specifically in rural mining communities, studying at the University of Zimbabwe was a huge achievement. I was born while my dad was working in Daily Mine. We later moved to Blanket Mine and finally Turk Mine. Because of this, many schoolmates despised me and called me names. Praise God, that did not deter me from realizing the promise. The Lord had accomplished a great work in me. I was studying at the University of Zimbabwe. Many people fail to make it in life because of continually allowing their past to ruin their present and future. They are still living in the past while everyone else is living in the present. They are missing out on the blessings of today by holding on to the pains of the past. The children of Israel had to leave Egypt for them to go to Canaan. They could not live in the two countries at once. They could not hold on to Egypt and claim the joy of the promised land. My submission to serious Christians is live the bondage of the past, Egypt, and start living by faith in the land of the promise. Being offered a place to study for a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture economics brought the greatest joy in my life. I was going to be the first in my family, church and neighborhood. Thus when I left home for the university, I was determined to give it my best shoot. I was aiming for nothing short of completing my studies in the prescribed period of 3 years, for I did not want to let down my entire community. Remember, in Africa a child does not belong to his parents only, but to the entire community. The UZ, or the land of Uz as some called, was way larger than what I had imagined. It spread over a vast area covering approximately 300 hectares. Its architecture was striking and nothing I had ever seen could be compared to it. Just near the main entrance was an enormous multi-story library, which is undoubtedly the largest in the country. To my countryman this was of significant importance as the ancient library of Alexandria in Egypt. What made it famous is that most Zimbabwean and Rhodesian great minds had passed through this library. It had beautiful glass walls from which one could see people studying and then be reminded on why you had enrolled at the UZ. Directly opposite the library was the magnificent Great Hall. This was way more beautiful than the Bite Hall at my high school. Due to its gigantic size and architectural excellence, no one could have not gone past without noticing it. People would come and take pictures standing next to this man-made beauty. Despite it having stood there for many years, it also featured in a high-budget movie. This hall is also used as an examination room, thus it was also known as the Great Hell, so as to describe the agony unprepared students faced during examination time. The good thing is that for prepared students the same would be filled with joy. Talking about the Great Hall having antagonistic effects on different people at the same time, I am reminded of an event in the book of Malachi chapter 4 verse 1-4. For, behold, the day cometh, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth, and grow up as calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. KJV. Malachi describes how the day of the Lord will bring destruction to those who did not follow the law of God, yet the same day will bring great joy to those that follow the way of the Lord. All people in the world are like the students at a learning institution. This is time to prepare, for examination time is nigh. Do no waste your time, follow the way of the Lord. There were many other great buildings, among them the NLT 500 and the Student Union building, which was the cradle of all student revolutions. Great politicians were also produced in the building, for this is where students' activists were officed. Hidden in the shadows of large and great magnificent buildings of architectural significance was a humble small brown chapel. Anyone passing through the UZ, if at all they noticed, could tell that it was too small for a campus with a population of more than 10,000 students. In the chapel grounds, small groups of Christians from different denominations would take turns to hold devotions. Despite its small size, to me this was the most important building in the whole university. Many sins were forgiven, lives changed, and eternal covenants were made in the little brown church. After taking a tour of the campus, I went to my room F122 New Complex 5. This was going to be my home for the next year. Fortunately, I was sharing the apartment with a former high school classmate. In a few minutes I was asleep. I needed the rest, as I had traveled more than 500 kilometers from my home in Babai communal lands. To this day I am proud of once having been associated with this institution. However, despite the learning that takes place in the world's universities led by the learned professors of the world, Sir Isaac Newton rightfully put it, I was like a boy playing on the seashore, and diverting myself now and then, finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me.